What do you call an unmarried stitch? A single crochet.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my knitting channel. Today is episode 99. We will be planning winter projects. Sorry, I'm out of breath. A lot of crap is happening today. It's actually Thursday. I'm recording on Thursday. Usually I record on Wednesday. Oh my God, can you stop? New foster dog. Yesterday it was raining real bad, which means you could hear it in the ceiling. And then our power went out, so I couldn't have recorded anyway. And I wanted to record yesterday because I got my COVID shot last night. And I didn't know how I was going to feel my second booster. And I actually feel best with this one, other than I just have arm pain and like a trace of a headache, but I'm not sure that's from that because I've been having a headache for the last 2 weeks. Just a annoying off, on and off, but it's probably because I'm really stressed out. There are cat toys everywhere in this room. My foster dog is lifting his leg everywhere in this room, like everywhere in the house, so he has to wear a diaper all the time. The only time he doesn't pee is when he's sleeping. I just watched him lift his leg on a cat bed, but he's got a diaper on, so we're okay. Sorry, I decided he's my last foster dog. I don't want to do this anymore. It's too much work. I'm just done with the animals. I gave them 7 years of my life, and I think that's enough. I mean, I'll still keep, I want to keep having, dogs. I don't want to foster anymore. It's too stressful, and I'm kind of done bringing stress into my life if I can help it. We're going to talk about planning winter projects because my winter knitting starts next month. So next week we're talking about planning next month, but right now we're planning the next 3 months. I am wearing the Bonjour, modified Bonjour by Espèce Tricot. It's modified because I gave it a mock turtleneck, and I changed it to use up all of the yarn and not just what it called for. This was using a halo bundle, which was 1 strand of single ply mohair and 1 strand of 1 strand of mohair and 1 strand of single ply. It's singular ply. Single ply merino mohair. That we dyed last October. So this was, last December. This was last December's dye project. It was black, and then these resists were just undyed. So I dyed them pink. I think we just did, just deep magenta from Dharma, if I remember correctly, at about a 1% solution, but I don't know how much I actually used. I think I made it up a couple times and then just kept dyeing till I liked the color, which is a great way to dye if you don't want to replicate. So if you are interested, you can go watch that episode and learn all about it. The first half of this episode is going to be Stephen West. Mystery knit along, because I have not worked on anything else, and I'm not even done with Clue 2. When you see this, Clue 3 has been released. It's Thursday, so right now it's Thursday afternoon. So Clue 3 was released this morning, and I watched it when, the second it was released, because I was up because of my from the COVID booster. Actually, I was up because of my foster dog, but he's feeling much better now. Anyway, I feel for some of the people, but the rest of you are being crybabies. Like, seriously. Okay, I just want to say one thing before I start complaining about this. People are dropping out. Like, I have seen a handful of posts of people dropping out because they can't handle it, and oh my god, this is the worst shawl ever. Like, it's supposed to be fun, and you're supposed to be learning stuff. I've learned a ton of crap. And with the Clue 3, did you watch it? I have no idea what's next. No clue what's next. Like, I can't wait to see the last clue next week and be like, how are we moving on? Because every single one of these clues, I've been like, what is happening? Like, what is literally happening? Like, when we did the braid for clue 1, where we did the braid things, remember I was like, well, how are we going to work on the sides? Because they're already, finished with the I-cord side, and he made you pick up over those. And I'm like, whatever. So here's the thing with Stephen West. Okay. First of all, if you have ever done, I haven't even done a lot of Stephen West things. I've done like maybe 2 things of his. I did shawlography last year, and I think I've done like one other thing. I can already know he loves an I-cord. He loves I-cords. He loves I-cord bind-offs, and he loves the I-cord sides. Like, I did shawlography, and I was like, this dude loves I-cords. He just does. So, because they're on all of his shawls. You look on like all of his shawls, they all have the I-cord. So I was like, twists and turns. This is going to be some I-cord action. I already know there's going to be some I-cords here because they're twisty. They're twisty. So I also knew twists and turns. Twist, there's going to be some twisted stitches, probably twisted rib. And turns, there's going to be some short rows. Like, I'm like, right off the back, twisted rib probably, and short rows. And also, he said you needed a cable needle. And I'm like, okay, so there's going to be cables. It's like I-cords, twisted rib, and short rows. I hate. I-cord bind off. I hate. Seriously. So I knew going in that at least those things were going to happen. Like, if you just paid attention, you knew those things were going to happen. And because of last year's shrimps, I thought we were going to get shrimps. So I'm just excited that he did this, whatever this thing was, that these look like shrimps, but they weren't made like shrimps. I very much enjoyed making these than shrimps. Maybe, did I? I don't know. The shrimps were weird. But still, we kind of had shrimps again. So, like, all of these... Oh, God, see, I scratched my... I'm red. Oh, God damn it. That's living with chronic illness. That's what happens. I knew all those things going in, so I don't know how people are complaining that something called Twists and Turns has things that twist and turn. I saw that coming. Did you see that coming? I saw it coming. The thing I did not see coming was picking up so many stitches on an I-cord. It makes me want to kill myself. Is anyone else like yelling at him like, no, Steven? I swear to God, I was watching the thing. Not today's clue, not clue 3, because I actually like today's clue. I like what he calls the embellishment, and I can't wait to do it on other things. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, it's going to suck to do, but I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it because I think it'll look really nice. Because I did notice when we were doing that part of it, I have not finished all of clue 2, by the way. We'll get into that. But when... Oh my God, and what I frogged off is what I was going to show you. I noticed that one of the cables comes off of your stripe, your accent color stripe. There's the S cable. I don't know what's called an S cable. Because there's the... Oh my God, what did you call this one? I don't remember. The antler? Was it antler? I don't remember. Anyway, I will tell you. Okay, let's start further on. So the first one I was fine. I don't remember having to, I frogged a bit, but the second one, this half, these, right? The first side that was all knit and the twisted rib, I don't know why people don't like purling in the back loop. I absolutely don't mind purling in the back loop. I don't mind the knit, purl in the back loop, knit, then purl, or purl and then knit in the back. I don't mind that at all because I can read it, so it's easy. This first knit one, I don't really know which one was the knit one. Who knows? I did not mind the knit one. However, when you switch, what is this, clue or section 3? This is section 3 or section, whatever section the opposite side was, where it was purl. Okay. Some of this has to do with that I'm neurodivergent, and other things I think other people have the same thing to an extent. My brain has trouble doing things that it doesn't. Okay, for instance, my right hand is fantastic. My left hand cannot open a doorknob. My left hand can hold things, but it can't actually do things. Like, my brain isn't wired on this side of my hand. And I have tried exercises, like, what do you call them? Occupational exercises, to, like, people that have to relearn how to use their hands, like after an accident or stroke or something, and you're learning how to there's something happens in my brain that it doesn't get to this hand. So this hand is dumb, and doesn't know how to do anything. Like, I can pick this up, but if you wanted me to hold like a pen, like the way you hold a pen, I would have to hold a pen over here and make sure I could do it, but it's still not going. Like, I can't eat with this hand. I cannot fork or spoon with this hand. It's really a problem. Now, I don't know why knitting is not hard. Well, because my left hand doesn't really do anything. Same with crochet. My left hand just holds the yarn and stuff. So my right hand, because I'm a thrower, my right hand does all the work. But in crochet, again, my right hand, this just literally holds my work. And that's pretty much what it does here. It pushes it up and holds it. Like, that's all my hand can do. I'm amazed at people that can continental. I cannot. So anyway, I think it is a left right brain thing. So I think anytime that I have to do the opposite side, my brain doesn't know what to do. And I'm very into doing things in a certain way, whatever way I understand. So this was so hard to purl mirrored and to do the other side. And I think it was just because I had just done the other side. And so my brain was in that way of doing that thing. And I think if I had taken a break for a few hours or like overnight and just let it, I probably would have done a better job. But the second half, I had to frog it 4 different times. And one time, this long space, the short rows that were longer, were on this side. And I was like, how did I manage to do that? Because one thing I always do when I am knitting is I always look at if I'm on the right or wrong side. That's like one of the first things I do when I orient my knitting. I go, okay, am I on the right side or wrong side? So I know in my pattern where I am. And I think because I like to do knitting where I can see my work, or knitting that's intuitive, I can just read my work, and so I know where I am. And this shawl especially, I have no idea where I am ever. Like my foster dog was walking on my iPad and moved my things. So I was like, oh my God, I have no idea what was, but thankfully on the cable part, it's very easy to count your rows where you are, what row you're on. It's very easy. And then you count it and, and then right or wrong side, depending where you are. It's fine. This side, so one of the frogs was that. Another one of the frogs was the ribbing. Because once I twisted, I couldn't figure out, I think I dropped a stitch and I couldn't figure out how to fix it with the twisting. And then, so I just tinked back and fixed it. And then one of the times, one of the rows, I don't know which row, because I think they're both I-cord edges, right? I-cord edge. Yeah, they're both I-cord edge, so I don't remember what row it was. I mean, which side it was. But I lost one of my side selvage stitches, and it just unraveled, and I couldn't, being that it's an I-cord, I couldn't figure it out. So I had to tink back again and figure it out. Just go back and follow it until it's not messed up anymore, and you can go ahead. I don't remember what the fourth one was, but I know 4 times. 4 times I had to redo this. So this wasn't even, the first glue wasn't even the worst of it. This second one, the first one was a piece of cake. The second one, oh my God, took me so much longer than it should have. Took me so much longer than the other one. And I know other people, there were mods to knit it, but I was like, I'm already confused. I'm just going to do it. And so he went and took it right off the I-cord edge, which I really like. It looks like a bat wing. I just love it. So I figure we're just going to work down. Last night, I had this done. I was on the very last, I was ready to bind off. I'm so mad about this. Like, I want to cry. Because this is like almost 40 rows of cables. I've never done cables before. This is my first time knitting cables. I have crocheted cables, and I understood the concept. I just had never, because I think it's pointless, and I still think it's pointless, but I love mindless stockinette in the round, so I would not do anything to jeopardize doing stockinette in the round. Like I've heard people say that they love cables because it breaks up the monotony of stockinette in the round, like on sweaters, and I'm like, are you crazy? That's why I do stockinette in the round. Because it's my favorite thing to do. I could stockinette in the round all day. So I would not do, I don't see a lot of cabling in my future, even though I'm going to show you one today. It's pretty and it's okay. I don't think it's fun, but it's okay. It looks nice. It looks very nice. So anyway, I was on the bind off row. I'm not even kidding you. I was on the bind off row. And this part, which edge is it? This edge, where you have to slip this stitch. This pulls apart like a zipper. Like a zipper. It just goes zoop and pulls apart. I had one of my stitches come loose up top on almost 40 rounds. I forgot how many rounds it is, and I don't have my iPad in here. And one of the I lost the edge stitch, which is the one that you knit two together with the slip stitch and the this I-cord edge that we're knitting into, that we're picking up. And that just came apart like a zipper, like just zipped. And I had like, I'm not even kidding you, like I took a picture of it. I was so sad about it. I had the whole thing done. I was literally on the row, on the bind off row, all of them done. And this whole edge just came apart and then just zipped down. And I finally caught it. in the zipper, it looked weird. And I've never worked into an I-cord like that. So I did not know it was going to do that. And I swear to God, I was like ready to cry about it. I'm like, I just finished this. I was ready to do the bind off. What happened? So mad. I'm still mad about it because now I'm on row 5. I literally just did the first cables, just the first, because I was like, oh great, I'll be able to get this done today. Then tomorrow I can knock out the other side because I've already done it. It'll be easy. It'll be a piece of cake. I'll be able to get it done. No, because now I got to redo this. So then hopefully tomorrow I can knock out the other side. And then Saturday I can start clue 3. Which means I'm probably not going to get to the embellishments because I'm probably not going to have time. So I'm just trying to get... I don't know how long the clue 3 is going to take, though, because that's a lot of cabling. More cabling. Twists and turns. But I did go out to Joann's today and got me a real cable needle. I got the 2 different kinds. I want to know what kind he's got because mine does not keep the stitch. It's a V. And it just drops right out. It just drops right out. It's so annoying. But I got the spiral one, which I didn't like because the spiral actually works great. You can't work off the spiral. You have to take the spiral and put the stitches back on your working needle, your left needle, and then knit them. And that's the part that they slip off because it's so tight. And I feel like it takes more time. So I went to the Joann's and I got it looks like a fish hook. And I didn't use it yet, but I was using a DPN and it just fell right out. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then I used the other cable needles. It's a V. That fell right out. And I'm like, this is why I don't want a cable. Like on the burdock shawl, that cable stitch that I did where you don't even use it, you just cable it on, you just work it on the needle. So much easier. Like if I could do cables that way, I would probably do cable. I wonder if I could do cables that way. Anyway, probably not. But if I could, I would do cables. But I'm like, yeah, this is not gonna convert me to cables at all. So anyway, I'm going to continue on and get this cable thing started again. I have to say, now that we've worked our accent color in, I love the colors I chose. I mean, I loved them before, but I love them more even now. And I saw someone on Instagram that had pretty much my color, my first colorway that I worked for this. And I hated it. I was like, oh my God, good thing I didn't do that because there was not enough contrast in the grays. And I love these colors together. I think they look fantastic. I'm excited to get to do the cables and do those embellishments. He said you're going to have plenty of yarn, so because I was like, that sounds like it's going to eat up a lot of yarn, but I guess not. So anyway, I'm super excited. Now this looks like a pretty big shawl, so I figure we're just working down from here. So how are you doing on yours? Do you love it? Have you quit? Are you one of the crybabies that quit over it? I'm just kidding. I mean, if this was my first one, I probably would quit because this has been really, really hard. But it's also new stuff that I've never even seen before. And I'm actually excited that he chose that one antler cable or whatever it's called, because I actually have seen that on a sweater, and I was like, because it gives like a smocked kind of look if you're just using them not lined up. You know what I mean? When they're not lined up, when they're broken like that. Like it'll be like you'll have offset and then offset and then offset and then I saw a sweater like that, I think, and I was like, that's some pretty cool texture, but I'm like, I don't know if I would like doing it. So I still don't know if I would like doing it, like for a whole sweater. I mean, I don't know where my knitting journey is going to go. I'm sure eventually I'm going to get like really bored with stockinette sweaters. I just assume I'm going to get bored with it. Like, not another boring sweater. But see, that's also, I've done how many of these? I like things that look the same. I like things that are plain, and I like to use other ways to do things, like using color, or maybe I will eventually want to do cables. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, since that's my only whip, that's the only whip I have to show you. I cannot wait to get back to normal. Okay, so I apologize for calling any of you crybabies. I just think you should have known, because I knew what we were in for. I knew it, especially with all the modular. Didn't I tell you he's been doing a lot of modular stuff? And I said, if it's going to be some weird shape and we got to pick up all these stitches, we've done nothing but pick up stitches. We started with picking up stitches. That's all we've been doing is picking up stitches. Like clue 3, I was like, oh, we're going to work on these ends that are still hanging. No. Nope. Like, damn it, Steven. So I don't know what's going to, are we going to pick up the whole edge? I don't even know. Who knows? Who knows? I don't even know if this is the top of the thing. I have no idea what's happening. I love not knowing what's happening. I really think the people that are quitting really don't like their yarn choice or their color choice. But God, there were so many posts of like, Marie Kondoing your knitting or something, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, whatever, don't knit what you don't want to knit. I don't care. But like I saw some like bashing of Steven, and I don't like that, because he does this every year for us, and that's a lot to come up with, along with all the other designs that he puts out. So like, and he's turning his shawls into sweaters. Like, I can't bash someone that's doing this for us. I feel bad even putting his name in my stuff. I feel bad Instagramming and using the hashtags that he told us to hashtag. Like, I don't like feeling like I'm using him for using his status for exposure. Like, I think that's why I hate social media, because you're basically stealing someone else's content for attention, and I hate it. And I know it's good for him that we use the hashtag, and the more I love watching everyone's progress posts. I absolutely love it. But I don't like putting his name in things. I absolutely hate putting his name in things. I hate it. Anyway, let's move on to squishy mail, because I did get my Spooktacular mini skein set from Haute Knit Yarn. And I got out her Haunted Studio collection that was last year's. And I think, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 13. So 6 of them were repeats of last year, and 4 of them were single color. I'm so disappointed by this. And I hate saying I'm disappointed. 4 of them are solid. Solid black, solid purple, solid green, solid orange. And she has a lot of Halloween themed regular skeins, so I don't know why we didn't get more of those. But yeah, 6 of them were from last year's. So the only ones that were new were Maleficent, which I know this was one of her big colors this year, but I don't see Maleficent here. I think her Witch's Brew is more Maleficent-esque. And then this one, which I might be Black Cat, but I'm not sure, because it's in a mini and it looks different. So those were the only 2 plus these solids. So I was more than a little let down, because solids, I I was hoping to use them with the last year's minis, which I still have. Also, none of these are named with colors. I know what they are because they are similar to these, not even the same shades. It's similar. So I'm probably going to dye up. I have the same base, so I'm probably going to dye up some black and do some mosaic, make a mosaic Halloween shawl, just because I would really, really like that. And then I've decided no more Halloween advents. I don't know if my standards are too high, or it could be because I'm a dyer. And I'm like, I know the amount of work that goes into minis is ridiculous, which is why I don't do them. It's the same reason I don't do self-striping sock, because I don't hate myself. Planning winter projects. I have a couple things here to show you that are on my list of stuff to do for winter, which is November, December, January are my winter months. So this is what we're planning. Some of the things I have planned for the next 3 months. I would love to see what is on your list for this winter, because I'm always looking for what's new, because God knows I can't follow every designer. So the first one I have is called Abrazo. It is by Laura Nelkin. It is a vest, super bulky. It is a vest with some cable detail. And while I will admit this is not the prettiest thing, I wanted a layering piece for the winter that wouldn't mess with my arm circumference, because okay, I have clothes that I like to wear in the winter, right? So like I went and bought some flannels and a cardigan because I knew I couldn't get a cardigan done in time, and I am doing physical therapy through this whole winter, and I'm like, I need clothes that are warm, that I can leave the house and go do physical therapy, which I don't want to do at all. So I like to wear button-down shirts. I like to wear flannel shirts with a sweater over them. And then you can layer underneath. You know, I had some long sleeve t-shirts, but they don't fit in the arms. I tried them on and they don't fit in the arms are too tight. And I don't know if my arms are they getting bigger and flabby or something. I don't know what my problem is, but nothing's fitting me in the arms. That's really starting to like give me a complex. Which I already have like flabby old woman arm thing happening, so it's giving me more of a complex. But anyway, not the cutest thing. This is bottom up with some cables, super bulky, and I have some yarn that I will show you when we do this that was intended for a different project that I ended up deciding not to do. My second project that I have planned is a bulky sweater that we were doing a couple months ago, right? The black and green one. Now, I'm kind of not I don't know what pattern I'm going to use. I don't know if I'm going to mess with the remember the arms and the bust were not didn't fit how I wanted it to, so I wasn't sure if I needed to change my cast on thing and change the numbers to give me more start stitches for the arms, and I didn't know how big my arm should be. I didn't know how deep it should go before. I just didn't know, and I swear to God, every sweater pattern I've done has not fit me right. Even when I'm making gauge, it's not fitting right. So that being said, before we do that, I might do this on my list from Tin Can Knits is Harvest. It is a lot like the Zephyr cardigan that I wanted to do, but it has a garter stitch for the button. It's not really button bound, but it has, you work the garter stitch. What do you call it? Instead of going up afterwards and picking up stitches and making a collar or a button band, it's worked as you work it. So it's worked as you're working the sweater. It's worked along with you. Now, this construction is similar to the Lunch at Tiffany's blouse that I also want to make, which is why I wanted to make this. Now, I have 2 different yarns to use with this, and I'm going to make one in a medium, I think, one in a bigger size to wear over things like my flannel shirts, or to wear over like a fingering weight sweater. And then I'm going to make one that is not superwash, that can be worn against my skin. So that will be a smaller size. But that I'm not sure of because of fit and arm things, like I was just saying, the bust size and the arm size. But because this is Tin Can Knits and it's one of their easy things, like how to make a sweater, you know, they're Learn to Knit. So it's the simple collection. Even though I've already made sweaters, I have not been able to make a sweater that actually fits me, that is comfortable. So I'm hoping this will fit the bill because it's got like 5,872 projects. So if it's got that many people, and I know it comes in every size imaginable, so I'm just trying to figure out, I'm probably going to make the bigger size first. That's worsted weight. This is one I have showed you before. This is the Odyssey Shawl by Joji Locatelli. It is a color block shawl. I have some merino cashmere DK in 3 colors, and I showed you one that was pink a few for fall projects. I think I showed it to you. This is one for fall that we didn't get to. So I want to get this done this winter because I have I've been sitting on that merino cashmere for like a year already, maybe 2 years, 2 years. Oh, probably almost 2 years. And I want to get it done. I don't know what's taking me so long to get it done. My last project that I'm going to show you today is called Ovid. It is by Audrey Borrego. This is a free scarf pattern with some embellishments. It's done in 2 colors. Now it's done at the same time, so you work those 2 colors. It's worked on the bias, and then this color comes in and you go across. So the inlay part is stockinette, and then the outside part is garter. It's a good introduction to intarsia. Knit sideways from point to point. Bias garter and stockinette stitch in the center. Tassels on each end and flowers embroidered. I have not decided what I'm doing, but this is probably going to be a dye project. I've had this on my list for a really, really long time. That message is just the new Stephen West because I haven't done it yet. I'm not sure on color. Again, I want to do black and green, but I always want to do black and green, so I got to think about it. I also don't know what I'm going to embroider on there, but I don't really have to do that. You know, I can wear this with it. I don't have a scarf, and I thought this would be a nice... I had originally planned to use hand spun, but I don't spin yet. And I was like, this would be, it's only 2 skeins. It says fingering weight yarn and 2 lace weight yarns held together for the center portion. Or you can use this so I would just need 2 color 1 is 438 yards, color 2 is 385 yards. So this would just be a 2-color, 2-skein dye project. So I would just have to figure out colors. And I think one of those colors is black. I'm just not the outside black and some color inside, or would I do it the outside green and the inside black? Is that the question I'm asking myself? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. So that's what I'm thinking of doing so far for winter. I'm hoping to get some sweaters done. I would like to get some sweaters done. Also trying to plan the rest of our dye projects. I don't know what I'm doing for dye project next month. I have not been able to. I feel like everything's gone to the wayside to work on this MKAL. Like all of my work I normally do, all my prep work for my show, I don't want to say this episode was thrown together. Because I did work on it for like a whole afternoon, like went through all of my notes and everything, and went through what we had for fall and what I didn't get done this month because we've been doing nothing but dye project. I mean, the MKAL, so I really don't. This was fun last year. I feel like I'm not having as much fun this year, but also my anxiety is through the roof. I think because it started getting cold already, and last year it did not snow until after Christmas. So we were well almost to January before it snowed last year. And this year it snowed like 2 days ago. So it's like really cold. It's not even Halloween and it's already freezing. So my anxiety is, so this is probably going to be my demeanor until the sun comes back. And I'm sorry, but do not watch me for my energy into that. And I hate when people say that, like, when you come out with your own truth and, oh, that's so brave. And I'm like, why is it brave to tell our truth? Like when I started talking about my treatment as a child and growing up in my household, people are like, oh, you're so brave. I'm like, why? It's what happened. How is that brave to say this is what happened? Like, we're so accustomed. Oh my God, do you see it in social media where we're so accustomed to not tell the truth? Like women showing their postpartum bodies right after they have their babies, and people are like, oh, you're so brave. I'm like, why is that brave? That shouldn't be brave. That should be normal. It should be absolutely normal to tell your truth. And I think that's why I hate social media. It's so fake and everyone's lying. No one's telling the truth, and I can't handle people lying about everything. It bothers me. Anyway, I seem to be in this sort of place in my recovery where I don't know what to call it. I'm struggling, I guess. I'm struggling with, I think a lot of it was denial and hiding, and now I don't want to be in denial or hide stuff, so now I just want to be out with it and tell the truth. And I feel like it's harder to acknowledge and embrace your emotions than it is to stuff them down and ignore them. And then you have stuff like fibromyalgia and, ulcers and, a bunch of crap that you don't need, and your body's like struggling to survive because you keep dumping stuff on it. And so I feel like I'm at a point where I feel like I can't handle stress the way I could before, but I think it's that I'm not hiding the stress and swallowing the stress. And so I think I'm just at the point where, because I'm not doing that, I don't really know how to deal with it. And so like we went over stuff that I know works for me, like meditating and yoga and warm baths and naps. Naps are my number one. I can go from panic attack to nap in like 10 seconds. It's so easy. So we were going over, what self-care I need to take care of for the winter to get me through this. So I bought some stuff to help me through. And hopefully that guy will leave soon, because Chihuahuas are never here. Like, they're never here past like 3 weeks. So he should be gone soon. And then it'll just be our animals. And I'm going to try to have as stress-free of a holiday winter, stress-free winter as I can, because all of my dental work is done. Not like I had extensive dental work. I just had root planing and then fillings. And so now that everything's done, I don't go in again until April, which is when my mood should be. Usually by Valentine's Day, I'm okay. So it's usually like right after Halloween till Valentine's Day, I am an absolute wreck. I'm a mess. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I can't function. I'm afraid the show's going to get weird this winter, so buckle up if you're into that sort of thing. Who knows what's going to come out of my mouth? I don't know, you guys. I'm doing my best to hang on. Absolutely hate this time of year. I just hate it. And it's hard to get up every day when you don't want to be here. It's really hard. So I think reducing my stress is the number one thing I have to do. And cake. Cake usually always makes me feel better. I don't care what kind of cake it is. Right now we have pumpkin loaf, which I'm not usually into pumpkins or stuff, but it's like spice cake. It's like carrot cake. Like, it's without raisins, thank goodness, because nobody likes raisins. Do you like raisins? You're a psychopath if you like raisins. Any dried fruit, you're a psychopath. There's something seriously wrong with you. I hate dried fruit. Yuck. Okay. I'm leaving because I have to go redo 40 rows of cable and then do it again on the other side. So, as always, please like, share, or comments. Anything, any interaction helps me. I don't know if my husband put anything in the beginning, but I wanted to tell you that we were going to start putting him at the beginning of my videos to try to get away from the young lady that is that condescending young lady. I don't mean it condescending. The young woman that does the pasty reviews, because my videos keep getting suggested as recommended video after hers, and I appreciate the traffic, but this is not my intended audience, and I'm trying to get but YouTube doesn't give you any way to break away from somebody, and I don't know why they're putting me next. I don't know why they're putting us together. I don't know why they're not recommending me after other knitting channels. I don't get it at all. I don't know what the problem is. So we're hoping maybe having a male face at the very beginning of my episodes might do something and change whatever they're doing. Because the only thing we can see is that we're both women, and the first time it happened, we had similar, she had like a fishnet thing on, and I had a net shawl on. And that's the only thing we can think of that, I think she wears glasses too and has long hair, so I think they must do some like facial thing and think, because you watch her, you'd want to watch me, but I'm like, we have vastly different contents. Anyway, if you are here, I appreciate you being here. I hope you had a relaxing time. I hope you got some knitting done, or some crafting, or whatever it is you do, or you are commiserating over the MKAL, or if you're a crybaby for giving up and quitting. I'm gonna cry all about it, but I'm still gonna finish it. I really love my colors. I think if I didn't love my colors, I would be like, nah. So I don't really think you're a crybaby. I don't think you're a crybaby for quitting. I think you're a crybaby for calling out Stephen West for his pattern. That's what I think is a crybaby, I guess. because I did see at least 2 people saying how his design was terrible and whatever, and I was like, I think it's one of the most fun things I've ever done. It's frustrating, but I'm learning a lot, and I'm doing things I've never seen. I've never seen those loop things, except for his shrimps. So anyway, next week we're going to plan November, so that will be our first month of winter. I'm not prepared for that episode. Thank God I have a week to prepare, because I don't know what we're doing at all. Feel free to leave a suggestion if you want. If there's some pattern coming out that you want to do this winter, I would love to hear what it is. Like I said, I follow as many designers and dyers as I can, but I don't always see everything. So if there's something new drop in that I've missed, that you're excited to do, please tell me about it, because I'd love to see what you guys are doing. Okay, come back next week for that. I'll see you then. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.